Alright, Pierre-Luc Dubois has been traded along with a third round pick for Jack Roslovic and Patrick Laine, who's on retained salary, and Jack Roslovic's also signed. A lot to talk about here. I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible here. Let's start with what Winnipeg's getting. Winnipeg, you're going to be getting a very, very, very good center. A guy you can slot in on that second line. He is a very elite two-way type center, and he is still very young. He will grow. He fits in very well with this young core that they've built up in Winnipeg. He is going to be great. He's going to be, like I said, an elite player for you guys up the middle. Losing Patrick Laine does give me questions about what the right wing is going to look like in the future, considering the fact Blake Wheeler is getting up there in age. I don't know what they do there in the future, but it does not matter right now. Pierre-Luc Dubois is an elite player, and he does have questions, obviously, with how things ended in Columbus. You have to be a little concerned about character, in my opinion. This is a guy who, because he didn't want to be there, just decided not to try and play hockey. But yeah, Pierre-Luc Dubois heads to Winnipeg, and we're going to have to see what he can bring to the table there. Does this make the Jets a better team? I don't know. I feel like it balances out, but we're going to have to see. And also a third-round pick going to Winnipeg is a third-round pick going to Winnipeg. It really doesn't matter at this point. Watch that guy become a superstar, though. Going to Columbus is Patrick Laine, who has had eternal struggles with the Jets after being drafted. He just never seemed to find a fit, and I understand why. Most of the time, he played with Brian Little. And when you have a center like Patrick Laine, he should not be playing with Brian Little. No offense to Brian Little, but the style you need for a guy like Patrick Laine is Paul Stastny, pretty much. Somebody who will pass the puck all the time and then a great playmaker. So, yeah. Patrick Laine goes off to Columbus. I'm very interested to see how this goes, because now, if you're the Blue Jackets, you have a lot of wing depth, but up the middle, you don't have a lot right now. We'll talk about who I think will fill that hole here in a sec. But Patrick Laine will score a lot of goals, and the Blue Jackets need someone who can score a lot of goals. So, as long as there's not too much tension between Tortorella and Laine, which I personally think there will be a lot of tension between them, I just don't like the fit, but we'll have to see. It's going to be interesting. But you know what? Let's not talk about Patrick Laine. Let's not talk about Pierre-Luc Dubois. Everyone's going to talk about them. I want to talk about the third piece in this deal, the underrated piece in this deal, and the person who I believe will benefit most from this deal. Jack Roslovic. I know a video about Pierre-Luc Dubois and Patrick Laine being traded for each other, and I'm going to talk about Jack Roslovic. Let me explain why I think he might end up being the ultimate winner of this deal. Jack Roslovic has been really good, but he just hasn't gotten the ice time. He hasn't had the time to shine. He's been put on the wing, or he's been put in the bottom six, but he is a guy that can jump up that lineup and be a good second-line center for you, in my opinion. I think that he can get to that level. Now he's going to a team in Columbus who don't have a lot of center depth now that you get rid of Pierre-Luc Dubois. Because you get rid of him, you got Max Domi, who you can play at center. Who else below him is like a guy who can fit into the top six? This is where Jack Roslovic comes into play for me. I think that he will be given second-line ice time minutes at the center position, and I think he can excel from there, which is why I think he'll win. He'll be the biggest underrated piece of this deal. I think Jack Roslovic is about to show up in Columbus and just have a hell of a run. I think that that's what's going to happen, and I think that he will be very good for them in the future. I think he will be good for them now. I think he will get better, and I'm interested to see where his career goes. Three interesting pieces that all wanted out of their lineup are now traded. Do I think Columbus is better now? Time will have to tell. I don't know if the fit between Tortorella and Laine will be horrific enough to the point where they will get worse. I don't know what's going to happen there. I think there's certainly a chance for that situation to become more volatile. But the point is that right now, you look at it, I don't think either team is bad. I think they've just evened out. You can say Columbus won because they got Laine and Roslovic. I think that will be a win for them in the future if they can keep Laine around. But we're going to really have to see how this trade pans out down the line. So at the end of the day, this is a deal that needed to happen. It was a deal that was going to happen pretty much no matter what. Everyone knew that. I don't know how much of an effect it has. It certainly makes things interesting, but I don't know what the long-term outlook is for both of these teams. What did you think of the Pierre-Luc Dubois for Patrick Laine and Jack Roslovic deal? Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye for now.